the stock market, meaning companies, new highs.
I'm not fucking leaving.
The show goes on.
Nuts! They're nuts! They know nothing!
An online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now.
Welcome, my degenerates. The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania. This is the no bullshit approach to all financial markets, from Bitcoin, darknet markets, political betting, and of course, right here, the largest casino in the world, the U.S. stock market. I'm your host, Brian Micon, financial genius, Bitcoin class of 2011, and I played poker. Joining me are my fellow degens, Matt Glantz and Brett Ritchie. Glantz traded options back in the day, and Brett is the head of Blitzpick. The whole thing is put together by Tony, the producer, and this is Market Mania. Tony, it's a hell of a day in the markets today. Spin all that stuff up that you do, and let's get right to it. Matt Glantz, the options fund. How are you faring today?
We're doing good. We're crushing today. We're up a little over 8.5% on the backs of NVIDIA. We all know that gaming stock. We'll talk about that a little later. What's going on in your neighborhood there, Brett?
Things seem fairly flat for the Robinhood traders. I'm just waiting for this $1,000 deposit to hit my account so we can begin the Market Mania Robinhood $1,000 run up on this show, which I'm excited for.
The $10,000 challenge? Is that what I hear?
1,000, buddy. Not all of us.
No, $1,000.
Not all of us.
$10,000 challenge. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, yeah. 1 to 10. Yeah. Or 100. Why not?
Oh, it's going to be fun to watch him try to run it up. A lot of you guys know the poker challenge. They used to put in 1,000, try to make it into 10K. Brett's going to go ahead and do that in the stock market, show you the Robinhood screen
100.
every day, see what happened. 100K. We don't stop at 10K here. No. There's no cash out.
You got to hit the Wall Street Bet front page. 10K is not going to do that.
All right. That's a challenge right there. Lead story today. Jay Powell calls for the PAMP. He says there's low risk of overdoing it. You can't print and ship enough money into the market, is what Jay Powell is saying. What the hell's going on here? Just going to print forever?
It's what it seems like. Every single person seems to be clamoring for a second stimulus. I mean, he's saying it's way worse not to do it. What's interesting is I don't even know what's holding it up, because who even cares anymore if they print extra money? Like, do voters really care? Is that a big deal? I don't get it. So I think we'll probably see it this week. Matt?
So what is holding us up is Pelosi and the Democrats want to give a lot of money to the states and local governments that are hurting. And Trump and the Republicans do not want to give money to the states. Most of this fiscally states that are having fiscal problems are Democratic states. So they don't want to give any federal money to those states. And that's really what's holding it up.
So I thought they carved that out, or they carved something out. Pelosi was like, okay, we'll do that in a separate deal. It might not have been the state's bailout, but
that was the airlines bailout.
Okay, the airlines carved out.
Neither
okay.
you guys are going to say inflation. You can just print money forever. Rate goes to zero, and you can just keep shipping it in there. None of you guys think like
I'm with you, Mike, and I'm long a ton of gold for that reason, because the more they print, the more the commodity should go up.
What about our proud boy over here, Kruk? Are you going to? I mean, you got to see that this is, going to end in inflation.
Yeah, I agree. I think both sides don't care. That's the way our system is set up. Incentives are just to get elected, and all anyone cares about is this November election. They don't care about 5 years from now. That's totally irrelevant to the people making decisions.
Gotta wonder what happens to gold and crypto and metals and uncorrelated assets, or if it, it's going to be very strange. I don't know. Glantz is long gold. I mean, that should tell you guys.
Good time
something.
to buy
There
that Bitcoin, gold. I mean, we're fans of all that stuff.
Tony
on this
with
show.
the Jay Powell money printer, it's going, and then there's nothing you can. They're like, well, I saw the Jay Powell today. It said, I don't see a lot of inflation. It says, we don't really measure much inflation. Fuck does that mean? You can just keep printing it then?
I mean, just look at that headline in front of us. Powell calls for more help from Congress, says there's a low risk of overdoing it. He's just saying, guys, just print the money. You can't overdo it. We just need it.
Ship it in. Just sail it in, buddy. Just
we'll
get it
worry
in.
about the consequences later down the road. Kick the can.
Speaking of the consequences later, we have McAfee. John McAfee the lovable murderer and the guy that, if you believe what the documentary said, they said they like to poop in the mouth. And like, he might have killed a guy because the guy killed his dog. And he's pumping all sorts of shit coins last year, a couple of years ago, whenever that happened, whenever the big run up was. And today, John McAfee, did you say McAfee? McAfee arrested in Spain, U.S. criminal charges. I had to check the Twitter myself. Zero Hedge had that shit first somehow. And it looked like Janice McAfee, the girl he's been rolling with since they escaped the Guatemala thing, confirmed. RIP, he is captured. It was a hell of a run. Brett Ritchie, I know you followed this really closely, both in the crypto space and liking to keep tabs on various insane people running around the world that are very entertaining. What do you got on this?
I mean, I love this guy, right? He just very unique character, at the very least, interesting to follow on Twitter and sort of follow all his escapades. Seems like he's in trouble for some tax evasion type stuff. He didn't disclose all his income. And I think, honestly, that's kind of a mistake. If you're publicly on Twitter, basically doing these deals, probably at some point you want to pay tax on it. But it's just crypto tax is a little weird. It's tricky. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in that spot.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad he finally got arrested for all the time I've wasted in the last 2 decades of uninstalling that McAfee antivirus shit, that really, the bloatware on my computer. It's so annoying. It's a waste of time. He finally got arrested. Thank God.
I can't be happy when the thugs grab a man for not paying the extortion because he was randomly spawned there. I can't be mad. I can't be happy about that. Now,
wasn't he the Bitcoin guy said if it doesn't go to 100,000,
he'd chop his dick off
or something?
He said he would eat his dick. Yes.
2 months or so.
The guy's
2 months
nuts.
left.
It's fun. I mean, he got the tattoos of like the various shit coins on him. He said he was going to eat his dick. He probably killed a guy in South America for killing his dog. This is batshit. You get to watch it on Twitter. It's for free app. I mean, I can't. You got to be mad when a good show ends. You were mad when Breaking Bad ended.
It ain't necessarily over. I mean, it's not like I don't think he's facing a ton of time for this, but who knows?
He's been saying on Twitter that he's like, I'm not paying taxes anymore. I'm running for president. And, I'm just going to do what I want and fuck everybody. And that's great. I love that attitude, but, not really some of the crimes that might have been.
Another reminder, the U.S. government can get you anywhere. You don't have to be in the U.S. If they want their cut, they'll get it.
So 21 million owed or something. They said he shilled a bunch of shit coins and got 40 million. He owes 20 million. I didn't really read much about it, but that one is a tough one for the crypto world. I mean, that's tough for the crypto world. It was a good story. All right, moving along. Boeing WOES kicking Dixon didn't kick the stock on up. Matt, what the hell happened here? I thought that Dixon was going to come in and Chad fly that thing. He's going to make the Chad move.
So what Mycon's referring to, Kicking Dixon is the guy that runs the FAA, and he flew the 737 MAX. He actually flew it 2 different days, I think, and both days went well. So that's going to get approved. That's not an issue. But Boeing came out, put out their 10-year, 20-year forecast today, basically said that due to coronavirus and the airlines sucking wind, that nobody's going to be ordering new planes. The only new orders they're going to get are basically replenishing current fleets. They don't see any airlines expanding. So Boeing's kind of in a tough spot long run. But, the stock is 167. It was in the 400s before the pandemic at some point. So I do think there's value there. All the bad news seems to be out now. I do not own Boeing in the options fund, but I do own Boeing in my IRA for the long term. So I think it's it's like, where else are they gonna get planes? Eventually things will get back to normal, and it's either Boeing or Airbus. It's a duopoly. So I think Boeing, it's one of those things where throwing everything out with the bathwater. They get all the bad news out. I think the MAX is done. They're going to get that back in order. And now they're give their 10-year forecast, how things are bad. And it's going to move up from here.
Brett Ritchie, one of your rapper, colleagues, Drake, he bought a 767 Boeing, named it Air Drake. Do you think that could possibly be, maybe Kanye picks up a Boeing here or there?
I don't think that's a big enough market. I mean, Drake, there's very few rappers that sort of have the money Drake has able to buy a 767. I didn't even know he did that. I know Soldier Boy back in the day made up buying a plane just for like the media articles, and then was like, I didn't do it. And everyone's like, yeah, we knew. I don't know. I'm telling you, they're going to change the name of this Max. I said it on the earlier show. It's not going out as the 737 Max. You can bet that.
All right. You can see if you can get action on that. Maybe fire up Augur, make your own market, add the gas fee, make sure you have enough greed, grab an Oracle from there, then off you go. And all right, moving along to the SPACs. Chamath, he's SPACing everywhere. He's SPACing everybody all over everybody's face. I don't know if anybody read this, but he actually reserved the ticker symbol IPOA, IPOB, IPOC, IPOD, E, F, G. He got A through Z, IPOA through IPOZ. Look that shit up. And he is going to just keep SPACing on everybody's face. A lot of people remember he SPACed all over the market with Virgin Galactic, SPCE. It was an instant meme stock on Wall Street Bets. They're pumping it. They don't make any money. They haven't flown anybody to space. And but they're just, boop, whoop, whoop, whoop. It gets a 10 billion valuation before anybody, realizes it. Today's, I think I touted one of them yesterday. It was IPOB or IPOC. I think it might have been this one yesterday. Turns out you would have lost if you took some not investment advice, because it looks like the street didn't exactly love this third SPAC announced by Chamath. It looks like they didn't like the SPAC, some Clover Health, some $3.7 billion something that I had never heard of before today and nobody else has, but everyone's going to claim to be an expert on it. Brett Ritchie, SPACing. You see what's going on here? Direct listing. Chamath?
I mean, I haven't paid attention to this one particularly. I personally love what Chamath is doing. I know he took a fair amount of heat with something happened at his last fund that still did well. People were like, it didn't return quite enough. It still did well. This is a guy that's out there. I mean, he's probably a billionaire or whatever. He's still taking all these risks. He's putting himself out there. So I find it interesting. And for me, it's somebody I'd rather get behind what he's doing than a lot of the other stuff that's out there.
Clance, SPAC. You want to give him the old primer here, or what do you think about this?
So a lot of these SPACs going on now are, kind of like scamish, kind of coinish, whatever. But Chamath makes a very good point, and he's different than any. Basically, he's saying in anything he invests, he's putting his own money into it. He's not taking a free roll. He's not taking other people's money. He's putting his own money into it. He's putting, so I think IPOB, he put in 100 million. I don't know what he's put in this one, but he's got real money at risk. And he makes a great point. You want to invest with people that put their own money at risk.
Poker player Chamath, he's always playing with the boys. He plays with the bosses, the ballers, the Hollywood bosses, the Bilzerian types. He fires with them sometimes.
He played with us on Poker Night in America a couple of times. Him and Jason Kalkanis, the two of them. They were fun. Real good guys.
You realize what he's doing here? He's going to chop up 100 milli balls, 50 milli balls, depending on the size of the deal. He's going to get it in like 10 different times, and like see that spin. I love it. You got to love it, right? I mean, that's high limit gambling right there.
Yeah.
All right. SPACs, we will cover them more on Market Mania. The whole SPAC craze is going nuts these days. Direct listing instead of the shenanigans. Hey, Goldman Sachs, will you take us public? Oh, yeah, you will. Oh, okay. It takes like 10 million. Oh, you just get free shares. Oh, that's weird. Like, why do you just get to rape us like that? That's what it really happens. Like, that's how all the other companies before this essentially came to market. And it's a strange, rapey process with an investment bank that can't feel good to the company. Talk a lot about it with my cousin out in San Fran and such. Anyway, shout Craig. We are going to break for just a hot moment. It's going to be, is it the Macro Minute coming up? Let me see. What time is it? Yep, it does look like the Macro Minute. Tony, welcome to the show.
Hello, and thanks for bringing me on. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a bigger picture view while we're going through some of these headlines. I'm in orbit above Wall Street right now, and from here I can see quite a lot. Today, I just wanted to draw your attention to the big world of lithium mining. Lithium is going to become a much bigger deal in the future as we look forward to other forms of propelling our cars and our military technology. Oil's just so 5 minutes ago, and I think lithium's going to try and take its place. Some of the biggest lithium mines around the world are in Australia and in Canada, but the biggest is in Mexico. And the Chinese are looking to exploit this lithium mine. Now, China is the biggest exporter of lithium batteries. Tesla buys most of their lithium batteries from them currently, although they're making plans to change that around. But the largest deposit is right here in the Sonora Desert. Now, do you notice anything about the proximity of that to the U.S.? China's going to have as much control over that part of the country as they possibly can. They're working hard to do that. Do you think that might cause a little bit of friction? I think it will. Now, that is also the same part of Mexico, where if you remember late last year, that family was attacked just out of nowhere by drug cartels, that Mormon family. So this part of the world has a lot of strife in it already, and adding lithium to it is just going to increase that. Now, the problem with the lithium discovery in Mexico is it's going to bring all of that trouble to them. It's going to be environmentally at the point where you take up the lithium out of the ground. It's not very good for the environment. So even though your cars are running around on lithium batteries, storage, transport, mining of lithium is very ugly for the area that has it. So as you start to see militaries and economies shifting away from oil, you're going to start to see wars for oil disappear and wars for lithium reappear. And we've even got a joke based on that on our scroller going across if you catch it. So the largest mines in the world are listed right here. Biggest one in Sonora. The rest are in Australia, Nevada, Canada, and with just a few in Africa. So you could see where China is going to start to turn its attentions as it needs more lithium for itself.
Tony, what's the lithium stock that just went up a lot in the last few weeks from Tesla?
That would
PLL
be
or something?
PLL, Piedmont Mining. Let's take a look at that stock real quick. Look at that. It is absolutely parabolic.
Yeah, if you want to get into the lithium game, that's the stock.
Yep, I think so. And there's still probably more room to grow on this. I mean, this is going to be a decades long agreement with Tesla and Piedmont. So I just wanted to give you the big picture on the lithium scene. It's the new oil, it's the new black, it's the new everything. And if you can start investing in and around that sector, you'll be good. All right.
If it's a rock, if they're digging up a rock, you know that Tony is going to be on it. It's going to be a useful part of the battery. I don't know if anybody caught that you're just going to need for years to come. All right. Thank you very much, Tony. We appreciate it. And moving along, NVIDIA. A lot of you guys know it as the graphics card that you have to pay up big money for if you want that 60 FPS. Some of you know it as, oh, I was mining Ethereum or some other script shitcoin back in the day. Then they're like, I just got racks on racks on racks of these 1080s. Matt Glantz, NVIDIA, they make it's for AI, it's for everything. It's for everything. You just need to get a card.
10 years ago, Intel was by far the top chip maker in the world. And they were probably, I don't know, 5-6 times the size of NVIDIA. Now NVIDIA is 4 times the size of Intel or something crazy like that. I don't even, the last time I checked, I don't know. But they got their hands in everything. Autonomous driving was the big thing last year. Now today they have this big conference this week. They're announcing new stuff today. I noticed they did a deal with a Japanese machine maker called Kabuto, which they partnered with them to develop a highly sophisticated self-driving farm tractors. I mean, think how big that is. That market is huge all over the world. Everyone needs tractors, and if you don't have to hire people, I mean, that's great for those guys. But the bigger news today is what Tony had on the screen with the vaccine makers. So basically, these vaccine makers are it's all this cell gene therapy and stuff. They need these supercomputers, and NVIDIA is partnering with these guys to build vaccines with their chips. So, I mean, this thing, there's just no top to NVIDIA. It seems like it's just like a winner all over the world in the world of chips.
Brett Ritchie, they got the Cambridge 1 supercomputer. Then, all right, they need it first for the vaccine, but I got next. I'm firing up for it. We're dropping in. Glance. Let's just, imagine the frame rate on that son of a bitch there. I mean, Brett, you want in? I mean,
it's impressive, right? Here? As Matt said, they're covering a ton of bases here. They're not really reliant on one sector or industry at all. They're spread out pretty much, as he said, across the world, right? A lot of different markets, a lot of different industries. So it's kind of like this runaway train. Do you really want to get in front of it? I mean, there's a lot of other shit out there that you can go short. Is this one that you really want to try and make a stand on?
Look at that son of a bitch. Look at that supercomputer. It's like an old school Cray, but it's got new shit in there. I mean, imagine what you could do with that. Look at that. Look at that son of a bitch. That's running the simulation right there. That's actually all this is inside of there, believe it or not. It already ran the sim. Trump gets COVID. You know, what does that do? It's run the whole sim to see, you know, it's all inside there. All right. So a big cancellation. It looks like, you know, what happened here, Brett? Did COVID soften the old Trumper there? I mean, like,
it's interesting. So he's canceled
the ads
in Iowa and Ohio, which are supposedly battleground states. Polling shows them pretty even. And Trump thinks he's got him locked up, and he's less than 60% in the betting markets. He's like 57, 58, maybe 59% in those two states. Trump just canceled the ads, and he's putting the resources to more competitive states. They said he's going to win those states. So that's a lot of confidence out of the Trump team for these pretty key states, at least Ohio is.
This guy, wait, Matt Glantz, I know you got big Biden action here. It's not like ideological. It's just a gambling standpoint, as I understand it. This guy got the COVID. He took the trip in the car, which is weird. He come back, ripped the mask off. All right, motherfuckers, I'm back, baby. And then now he's going to rip the ads out. That sounds strange to me.
I mean, this is just, regardless of that, this is the freest money since, what was it?
Mayweather,
McGregor. What was that 2-3 years ago? This election is the freest money since then. There's no reasonable person. Obviously, the Trumpers are.
I'm not a Trumper. I'm a reasonable person. Though.
A reasonable person looking at the data, looking at the polls. Look, even assuming the polls will be as off as they were in 2016, still Trump has no shot in the Electoral College. It's not even going to be close.
Brett Ritchie, no shot, says the man with the big Biden bet. What do you say to that?
I'll say this. Everyone said he had no shot in 2016, right? Trump's internal polling showed a much different campaign, I guess, electoral outlook than everyone else saw. This is in line with that. Canceling Ohio and Iowa, everyone else thinks these states are still competitive for Biden.
Okay. I'll just repeat this because this came out today. If the polling is as off in 2020 as it was in 2016, that much, Biden will still win with 320 electoral votes to 200.
I mean, we'll see. I'm not saying Trump's a lock by any means, but that Biden is some slam dunk runaway winner is ludicrous to me.
Ads are canceled. The battle lines are drawn here at Market Mania. You guys see it. We got gambling on the politics happening. Now, I think everybody knows what time it is. A Mr. Rogers-like change to the safety glasses and the not investment advice hat. Do your own research, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Market Mania pick of the day. Yeah, baby. Now, before we get to this pick of the day, Tony, do we have that tweet from the last pick of the day? Because I remember, look at this, Matt Glantz. Putting some faith in you, says Rick Not Flair. Sold 1,500 DKNGs. Look at this. This guy's firing big time, and he's firing into your SRNE pick. This is not investment advice, but Rick Not Flair has sure sailed it in. Matt, big.
This is a lot of pressure. He did very well with one of our first picks, which was Twilio at 247. It's in the 290s now. So I think he made like $30, he said, on Twitter. So now he's shorting DraftKings at 61 and buying SRNE at 1077. That's a couple picks from this week. I hope he does well. And let's get him another pick for today.
More aggressive than I'm prepared. Yeah, hit it. What is it? What's your pick of the day, Matt? I was screaming over you. What is it?
I'm going to put it up right now. Tony's going to put it up on the screen. DDD. It's 3D Systems. Remember, those 3D printers were hot back in the day. This stock has been getting crushed for so long, for as long as I can remember. And today, all of a sudden, it's a huge turnaround out of nowhere. There's not much talk about it, but it's up over 10% today. 556 right now. I think we're going to be seeing the sevens pretty soon.
DDD. That's a Chad ticker symbol if I've ever heard it. Brett Ritchie, you got anything on that?
I'm buying Trump in Ohio and Iowa. His campaign, they showed last time that their internal polling can be very different than what everything else shows. You're getting him in less than 60 cents at something that the Trump campaign seems to think is a slam dunk, or they wouldn't have just pulled those ads and moved away from these states. So I'll ride with them.
All right. And I'm going back to the well, one of these little fellas that I've just loved for years. I'm in GoPro is my pick of the day. Wow, that is actually spiking up far more than when I put it on there as the pick of the day. And GoPro, it's a GoPro. It's an iconic camera brand, and they've been beaten down for years and years. It's actually very much like the 3D systems there. Just clubbed for years and years in the face. And then you got your man, Nick Woodman, one of the most Chad last names of any CEO you'll ever hear. Nick Woodman is the CEO, has been so for over a decade and a half. That's his baby. He's bringing that thing back to life. It's going to take a long time. Hero 9 or some shit coming out soon. That's probably why it's pumping. And that was your pick of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's fucking go with stocks. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls across the world, there has been an incredibly crazy, batshit fighty, screamy kind of 2020. It's been bad for a lot of people, and a couple billionaires have really pumped it up. Now, the world's pretty fucked up right now. And as Lil Peep said, get into the cake now. All the hate don't faze me. All the money that I make now, I'll never let it change me. Please like and subscribe to Market Mania, and we'll see you tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow. But for now, it's lights out.
I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine.
Time to right the wrong. So your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way if you're trying to go. If you want to switch lanes for a pot of gold, never domino, out of control. The usual, get mad cause I'm looking at your girl.
Switch it up.
I do it so much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard, got the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury of how we're turning, wow we're turning. Can't lie like Mississippi burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagine it look the other way. Couldn't clear space on my mind, was afraid of the time. Strobe lights like in the moonlight. I'm in the mood right now, how about tonight? My interview's tight now, I was so